Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mike's Mini Motors. So in this one, we get to go back to the Ruckus again. Something I've been meaning to do for a while, and just haven't had time. So I'm going to make a license plate mount for the GY6 motor. If you remember, in other episodes, I've explained that I had a 3D printed one and lasted for quite a while. And then after a car show this summer, it disappeared. I don't know if it got taken or snapped off the car show, or if it just happened to fall off during a ride. But it was around that same time, so. I ended up having to get a brand new plate and everything, and now I'm not going to 3D print one just in case it was just road vibration that broke it off or whatever. So I'm going to fab one up out of some metal, and then we're also going to add in these guys here. These are just license plate lights is all. They're just white lights, and because I don't know if it applies to motorcycles, but I believe in Montana, like regular cars and stuff like that have to have lights on their license plate, but figured better safe than sorry. So let me go ahead and get you a closer look real quick, and you can see what's left of my old mount and kind of see where we're going to be putting this thing at. So let's get to it. So if you look right here on this, I think it's a factory mount for some other bike, but there's nothing used on it on the Ruckus, and so this is where a lot of people put their license plate. And you can see this is the plastic left of the 3D printed one. But my license plate was on here about like that. And let's see if I can get a little bit better angle for you guys. About like that. And then, because you can see, like, if I put it this way, how much further it's going to stick out from the bike. I'm not a big fan of that. So we're going to go that way, and then we're also going to we're going to do these little LED lights. So it'll be about like that, pointing down so it's not blinding people. So yeah, we'll start with getting me some steel sheeting or steel sheets kind of cut out to about the license plate shape that we want, and then we can start whittling them down and shaping them. So I got my basic shape kind of laid out on here. You can see the lines I'm hoping. Oh, I put it on the camera. And by the way, I just picked these up. Came in the mail a couple of days ago. These Silver Streak pencils. It's like a silver lead mechanical pencil for marking on metal. These are awesome. So I'll put a link down below because they're cheap and they work great if you're writing on metal. I was using a Sharpie and that was a pain in the butt. But you can see I got... It's actually the square I have is going to be a little bit thinner than the license plate. That way the license plate's not, or this bracket's not sticking out past the license plate. And then I got it to about there. And this last little lip up here, I will use to put a couple holes for the lights. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this on top of the other sheeting I got here. And take it over to the bandsaw and then start cutting them so they're uniform. Here's how we got the plates off the bandsaw, and then I did just put a couple of quick little tack welds on them just to hold them so I can take these clamps off and they'll still hold. If you look down here too, I did decide to add about a 1/4 inch last second before I put them on the bandsaw. I figured better have enough and then grind it down if I have to than having not enough. And yeah, so there. And then next I'm going to make this long cut here. I don't think it's going to work in either of my saws, so I'll have to just use the grinder and cut it off. And then ignore that line there. I noticed my chop saw for some reason when I did this went at an angle. So when I put my square on here, that wasn't square. But yeah, so I'll get this cut off with the grinder and then start lining up some holes for the license plate and the license plate lights. Alright, so got the license plate all mounted on there. Decided to go ahead and I had a bunch of M5 bolts, so I tapped them and stuff, and then I think there'll actually be enough room that you could throw a nut on the back if you wanted, just to be safe too. But yeah, so those are on there, good to go. Now I gotta get the holes drilled for these license plate lights, so probably just go, I don't know, divide that into 3 and put them there and there. And then I'm just going to drill a through hole in this one. I'm not going to tap it, just since we got the wires going through it and everything. So that's next, and it should be pretty simple. So here's the plates once they've all been ground, and I tried to shape them, and then I realized actually while shaping them, I think one of my dimensions for those upper holes was off a ways. Let's see if we can. It's kind of oddly shaped, so how much I can do now? I'm not going to waste them, so I'll keep going, and I'll say I did that on purpose for some reason. One thing I'm thinking about doing too is maybe cutting out a whole bunch of this in the center, just because since this is being made out of steel, it's not very light, and so just any kind of weight reduction, or maybe I'll just drill a bunch of holes, or I don't know, we'll figure something out. But yeah, I'll have to think on that one. But I did grind the tack welds off, so now they're 2 independent pieces, and then think about what I want to put on here for a little brace or bracket to mount it to the bike. Alright, so here's the plate. As you can kind of tell up here, like I said, the measurements were off somehow, and whatever. But I did kind of notch this a little bit differently. I didn't like the big rounded corner, and then cut out the center here for just some weight reduction, which was a pain in the butt with the file and my grinder and whatnot, but it's done. So now I need to kind of, I'm going to put it about here, and what I'm going to do is just put a piece of angle iron here, and then the one side I'll cut it down so it's kind of like a brace, and then it's going to just follow this inside line, just like about, I think it's about there, and then you can adjust the angle however you want. So yeah, alright, let's get some angle iron cut. license plate mount. Well, fabricated, finished. So I just took that angle iron, drilled my hole for the bolt, and then welded her on there. So yeah, didn't turn out too bad. Took me a lot longer than I expected, like most of this metal fabrication does. So now I'm going to go ahead and get my license plate mocked up on there, and these too, and we'll see how she looks on the bike. And here is the license plate bracket all mounted with the license plate, the lights and everything on it. And you can see it, I just have it loose right now just to show that you can pivot it to whatever you prefer. If you want it straight down, you can do that. If you want it tipped. So another thing I did, let me just hand tighten this for a second. I grabbed this battery here and I'm gonna see if they work. So here's one. Yep. Two. And both together. So looks like the lights are working. Yeah, this thing is just about done. Alright, so the license plate bracket is all fabricated up and good to go now. I've even got the extra one I made for Brandon here. But that's going to wrap up this episode. One thing I'm going to do, so why I'm not finishing it up and wiring it in and everything, is because I'm going to powder coat these here. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but I believe I had mentioned that at one point I picked up a Harbor Freight powder coating system. It was used, but when people I bought it from opened it, got intimidated, didn't even try it. So it's new, but it was used, so I picked it up really cheap. And I'm going to try powder coating these guys black. I even picked up a little toaster oven from Goodwill just to bake them, so I'm not baking it in my home oven. So that will be coming up, as well as wiring these guys in. I just don't hook to the battery, the lights. So I'm just going to tie them into the running light back here, so it's a constant 12 volt when the key's on, so they're just on when the bike's on. And yeah, so be looking for that one. Probably be doing that next. And then another thing I wanted to note is if you guys want to help out a local, not local, but like another Ruckus enthusiast, there's a guy named Vincent over in the Seattle area, and his Ruckus was stolen. They cut a hole in his garage door, got the door open, and got his bike out. So somebody, I forget who it is, put together a GoFundMe page to try to help him get a bike, or something. I'm not sure exactly what the end goal will be, but just kind of get him back on his feet. He loved his bike, so I know I'd be destroyed, somebody just took this thing, and it would suck. So anything you can give just to help out, I'll put the link down below and click on it and help out if you can. So thanks a lot, everyone. Hope you're enjoying it. Like the video if you like it. Leave me a comment and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys next time.